Today on Rock the Park,
we got a Manta Ray, baby.
It's a coast-to-coast adventure.
Man, that thing's huge.
We're seeking out some of the ocean's smallest inhabitants.
Whoa, what is this?
And some of the biggest living things on Earth.
Wow, that's gigantic.
From the mountains to the water.
Dolphins? Oh, yeah, see them?
And the sea to the swamps.
Do you see them?
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
It's a wild ride.
Ooh, oh, whoa, get me out of there.
And it all starts right now.
All set? Let's go.
I'm Jack Stewart.
And I'm Colton Smith. We've been buddies for years, and we love exploring the national parks.
It's all about packing up a car and just doing it. Just hitting the road.
Our goal is to visit every national park in this country.
And when you go off the beaten path like we do,
there's no telling what will happen next.
Get set to rock the park.
From the Arctic regions of Alaska to the steamy swamps of the Florida Everglades, the National Park Service operates 74 sites on coastlines around North America. We're starting our coastal crusade on the East Coast, which is only about 2,000 miles long as the crow flies.
The shoreline's more like 28,000 miles long when you wind up and around the thousands of bays, inlets, and coastal islands. The northernmost national park is Acadia in Maine.
This park also takes the prize as one of the most dog-friendly parks in the country.
So I want you to meet our tour guide here. This is Scarlett.
Scarlett is a rescue dog. Her owner, Beverly Bono, adopted her from a shelter when she was about 4, giving her a second chance at life. The 27-mile Park Loop Road circles around the coast and through the woods in the park.
Oh, we got deer. Oh, wow. Scarlett, look at that. A lot of white-tailed deer here in Acadia. All right, so we're on our way to the Great Head Trail, and this is gonna be a nice hike because we're gonna get some amazing views of the woodland coastline, but also we're gonna get to see the ocean a bit today.
Yeah, and it's a great hike to bring Scarlett on. Great Head Trail is one of many hikes dogs can do in the park. Here, more than 100 miles of trails are open to pets.
Right. Okay, you ready to be our tour guide?
All right.
All set?
Let's go.
All right, lead the way. We're following you. We're following you.
Dogs in the park need to be on a leash no longer than 6 feet. It's safer for them and for wildlife. This is a great hike for everyone. It's only 1.7 miles round trip, and it's nice and moderate. This oceanside hike winds its way through evergreen forest, and it's a little bit of a climb to get to the top of the cliffs. Scarlett's doing pretty good at navigating this terrain. It's kind of a little scramble going on here, and she's hopping right along.
It's so awesome to be able to go out with a dog on this trail. They're just so much fun to be with. She's smelling things, looking everywhere at all the mountains and the ocean, and it kind of brings you a little energy. Pretty high up.
Oh.
All right.
Not a bad destination.
Yeah, this is it, the Great Head.
Good girl.
Look at that view. Isn't that cool? Of course, this is your home. You're used to this, but we're not.
I think oftentimes when we're at such incredible places like these parks, it's easy to take for granted. And you look at her being a rescue dog who had a crazy life, and then now look where she gets to be. The rugged cliffs of Acadia are pretty sweet. But as you move down the East Coast, the seashore levels off and sand replaces rocks. From New Jersey to Florida, the Atlantic coast is protected by long, narrow strips called barrier islands.
Ooh, is this an oyster?
Just off the coast of Virginia, we spent a day at Chincoteague National Wildlife Refuge, digging deep to learn more about the kind of critters that make their home here.
Any luck?
Whoa! What is this?
Oh my gosh, he found a whelk!
Whoa!
Nice!
Whoa!
This is a whelk shell. They're large predatory sea snails. Although their spiral shells closely resemble the more famous conch shells, conchs only live in tropical waters.
Yeah, that's our prized find out here.
That's right.
Really? He's not in here anymore.
No,
No.
that's a empty shell.
He would fill this entire thing, right?
Right. He would have a big part of his body that he is actually plowing under mud and sand to look for other things to eat, like other types of shells.
Yeah.
They're actually carnivores, and they're good at it.
Barrier islands protect the coast from wicked waves and storms, and there's usually a calm, narrow waterway between them, like this one between Cumberland Island and the Georgia mainland. Because it's protected from the open seas, it's a favorite hangout for all kinds of marine life.
Dolphins? Oh, yeah, see them?
Where? Oh, yep, I see them.
There they are.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
These are coastal bottlenose dolphins. They're a little smaller than the offshore bottlenose living in the open sea. They can be comfortable in water that's as shallow as 12 feet and will work in teams to catch fish by herding them against the shore.
We got a Manta Ray, baby.
Yeah.
Right up there, Eagle Eye spotted him. And oh, he's just skimming across the surface. It almost looks like an airplane. He's just got these wings that just stick out of the water.
A manta ray is a fish with tough cartilage rather than bones in its skeleton. Its fins are like giant wings that can be as long as 23 feet from tip to tip. Manta rays have huge mouths, and they skim the water surface, scooping up plankton and tiny sea creatures as they go.
Manta rays have to keep swimming in order to pass the oxygen-rich water through them. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see them going fast.
Manta rays are incredibly docile creatures. He kind of disappeared, so he might be right under us right now. Now, correct me.
Oh, he's right back to us.
Right there, right there. It reminds me of Batman. It really does.
Barrier islands are great because they can give you an ocean experience within reach of easy, safe, dry land.
But if you follow the East Coast down to the southern tip of Florida, it's a whole different experience in the Everglades.
Oh my gosh!
Look at how big his head is.
The state of Florida includes nearly 1,200 miles of coastline, with several national parks touching the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. And in a place like Everglades National Park, all of that water creates a habitat for some epic wildlife.
We wanted to spot one of the 200,000 alligators that live in the park, and we knew that there was only one way to do it. Today, we're getting our first view of the Everglades from an airboat in the northeastern part of the park, where they're still allowed. Marshall Jones is our wilderness guide. His family has lived in the Everglades for 5 generations.
Airboats were built for the wetlands. With a flat bottom and aircraft-type propellers, they can fly through the shallow water or thick vegetation. Blue Shanty Canal is alligator central because it's much deeper than any of the water that we've seen today. It's a nice spot for the alligators to stretch their legs.
Big gator right there in front of the boat, guys.
Oh, do you see him?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Man, that thing's huge.
Oh my gosh!
Look at how big his head is. Female alligators rarely exceed 10 feet, but males grow much larger and can weigh more than 1,000 pounds. So Marshall's taking us towards this alligator, and he's swimming by, but all of a sudden, he just turns and comes straight for the boat.
Oh no!
Look at how big his head is.
You see his teeth? He's eyeing you.
Oh, he's really eyeing me. Oh man! Oh my gosh!
So was he just checking us out?
Yeah, making sure we're friendlies.
Everglades National Park makes up around 1.5 million acres of mostly wetlands, and you don't always need an airboat to explore them.
I see it's looking a little soggy out there.
Are we getting wet today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you're ready for that.
Hiking through the wetlands is called slough slogging, and you never know who or what you're gonna find here.
Now watch your step. So I have a carnivore for you.
Carnivore as in meat eater?
Yep. Right in the water.
I'm not sure I like where this is going.
No, not at all.
Oh, come on, trust me. Check this out.
Wait a minute. What is this?
So this is Blatterwort. Check it out. It has little tiny bladders, which help it to float, but that's how it captures unsuspecting insects.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a Venus flytrap?
Exactly.
It's a Blatterwort flytrap.
This isn't the carnivore we've been worried about. There's another meat eater that lives in the Everglades, and it's multiplying fast. Burmese pythons are native to Southeast Asia, and it's likely that a few were kept as pets and either escaped or were released. Pythons eat just about every kind of animal living in the Everglades, even alligator. Some grow more than 10 feet long.
They're very, very difficult to see. You can drop one in the water and it will disappear in a matter of a second. They blend in perfectly.
It's getting late in the day when we finally reach our destination. This is a Cypress Dome with larger trees in the middle and smaller trees along the perimeter. It's a whole different world in here.
It completely changes.
That's incredible.
And check out the water, how nice and clear.
Is there something different in here that makes it so when we're stepping right now, we're not really kicking up too much mud?
Let me show you what makes up the ground here. So this actually is the needles right off of these deciduous conifer trees. And they start to create the floor inside of a cypress dome.
The Everglades are hot and humid, but nearly 2,000 miles to the north on the Great Lakes, America's fourth coast, the waters are frigid.
Especially when you kayak the sea caves of the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore like we did.
Or better yet, dive in.
Oh, so cold.
Something that most divers don't do is sea caves. Normally they're kayaked, but it's great below the water and above.
And you said most divers don't do it? We're not most divers,
Yeah,
Terry.
we're in.
Yeah, all right.
Let's go.
From down below, you can see even better how these caves have been shaped by the relentless power of Lake Superior. All of these rocks were once a part of the island. So Colt and I are exploring, and I look over and I just see pure black. This intrigues me. So we start to swim towards it, and it gets a little creepy.
But I don't care if you're hiking, if you're kayaking, or if you're scuba diving. Going into a big black pit that you can't see where you're going, it's a little unsettling.
And it just keeps getting darker and darker. So after a while, I think I better pop my head up and see what's going on. We ascend to the surface, and all of a sudden, we're in this massive room with these little cracks of light coming through. It's one of the most spectacular sights I've seen on this trip.
It doesn't matter which coastal park you visit, you're guaranteed to find something unique.
Yeah, and they can pose different kinds of challenges. Oh, that's tight. The national parks on America's West Coast contain some of the most spectacular sights on the continent. One of the most eclectic spots is Olympic National Park in Washington.
It's home to epic mountains, beaches, and the last remaining rainforest in North America.
The Hoh Rainforest once stretched from Alaska to southern Oregon. Today, the most pristine portion of this rainforest resides within the park, and the trees here are massive, some measuring up to 300 feet tall and 25 feet around.
Wow, that's gigantic.
The Hoh Rainforest gets up to 12 feet of rainfall a year. That's more than anywhere else in the lower 48 states. Add in mild winters and cool summers, and you've got the perfect environment to grow some huge trees.
Whoa.
And some wicked-looking moss. Moss is a spore-bearing plant that thrives in cool, damp environments. The Hoh Rainforest is thick with it, and the animals love to eat it.
Look at that elk.
Oh, man.
Look at that
Oh,
size
dude,
of
that's so cool. That thing, I know, they're huge.
This is a Roosevelt elk. These massive animals can weigh up to 1,100 pounds, and the largest population in the US is found in this rainforest. Olympic isn't the only park along the Pacific with mountains and great ocean views.
One in particular is 20 miles away from downtown Los Angeles.
Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area includes 10 beaches and 500 miles of trails perfect for hiking and biking.
You ready?
I'm ready.
After you.
Onward and upward. Oh.
I'm realizing that I do not have the technique down for mountain biking, so it's taking me a little while.
It's painfully slow. Just painfully. Feels like you exert just tons of energy and you don't go anywhere.
And I gotta stop. Oh, I gotta stop. Oh my gosh.
We've only gone about 1.5 miles, but thankfully we've hit our plateau and it should be mostly downhill from here.
Check this out, man. You can't beat this view.
The Santa Monica Mountains have steep, rugged slopes and range in elevation from sea level to 3,000 feet.
You've got everything. You've got your mountains, your vast ocean, and then you can even see LA off in the distance. It's crazy. All right, you ready, man?
Yeah, the downhill awaits.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, boy.
So I'm flying through the forest, and we come to this point where there's a pretty tight switchback. And I do my best to slam on my brakes, but then,
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, you all right?
oh yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, man.
That's what happens
Oh,
when you
man.
try a really quick switchback going too fast.
California is full of coastal parks, and some of the best experiences are getting in the water and checking out what's under the surface.
Here goes nothing. Oh, oh no! Whoa! Get out of here!
Some of the most spectacular island landscapes in the national park system sit just off the coast of Southern California.
Channel Islands National Park is located about 30 miles off the coast of Santa Barbara.
Little did we know, this park would serve up some of our most challenging coastal experiences. Like taking a flying leap into the sea, to explore and take a census of a forest that's different from any we'd ever seen. As we descend, we're suddenly surrounded by kelp, and it's unreal. Massive green stalks are waving in the current, and fish are darting everywhere. This is awesome.
Swimming through the kelp forest is a surreal experience. It's daunting at first because these big plants tangle you up, but it's also fascinating to see all these different organisms that exist because of the kelp. Kelp is a form of seaweed that gets its nutrients from the sun. It attaches itself to the bottom of the ocean, creating a kind of root called a holdfast. Kelp can grow up to 2 feet in a single day, which makes it the fastest growing species in the world. Spiny sea urchins like to munch on the holdfast until the kelp floats away. Too many sea urchins can damage the kelp forest, so Kelly has us counting and measuring the sea urchins in this section.
What's so difficult right now is just staying in one place. The current is coming in and out, and we're swaying right along with it.
Right now, we're getting tangled up by kelp, and every foot we move gets us more wrapped up in this seaweed, and it's not fun.
Surprisingly, that wasn't the only tough spot we found ourselves in while exploring the Channel Islands.
We also had a rough go on the water, trying to kayak through the sea caves of Santa Cruz Island. There are more than 125 caves in a 20-mile stretch, each carved by the powerful waves that batter the volcanic rock day after day.
These islands were formed by volcanic eruptions. So you've got this basalt, which is this really coarse rock already, but the water just kind of pounds against it and has turned it into something that looks pretty fierce.
It's jagged.
I don't think we're gonna want to be bumping up against the walls at all today.
Easier said than done.
Whoa! It's hard enough to be precise when trying to get through these tiny little cave openings. But then to add on having to time it perfectly with the waves, it can be quite tricky. The craziest cave is called the washing machine because waves come swirling in from 3 different directions.
Here goes nothing. Oh, oh no! Whoa! Get out of here!
Yeah!
Woo!
Hello! Nice.
Oh man!
Jack slides through again, untouched, and now I have to follow. I look in back of me and I see a wave coming up. It passes and I know that this is my chance.
Ooh! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Get me out of there! Oh.
Yeah, we got a little more than we bargained for on that kayak. But hey, we love pushing our boundaries. It's what drives us to keep exploring.
And that's what the national parks are all about, getting off the beaten path and discovering things that you might not normally see. And remember,
Hey, if we can do it, so can you.
So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park.
All right.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions or comments that you have.
And please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come.